Okay, I'm going to start by sketching the situation to have a visual for what's going on. So we want points that fall on the line x plus y equals 0. We can also write that equation as y equals the opposite of x. So we want points that fall along this line here. Okay, and also those points are 8 units from the point negative 2, 3. So if we plot the point negative 2, 3, and then we draw a circle with radius 8, it's going to be up here, and here, and here, and here. So here's our circle, roughly. It's looking like there will be 2 points we're looking for, one down here and one up there. So let's find the equation of the circle, and then we can solve from there. So we know the center of the circle, we know the radius of the circle. We can substitute those into our center radius form, and we have x plus 2 quantity squared plus y minus 3 quantity squared equals 8 squared. And because we know that y equals the opposite of x, we can substitute the opposite of x in for y in the equation. And then let's multiply everything out. So we have x squared plus 4x plus 4 plus x squared plus 6x plus 9, that's from foiling that second quantity, equals 64. Combining like terms, we get 2x squared plus 10x equals 51. And then let's go ahead and get everything over to one side in this equation. We can check it out to see if it might be factorable. It's looking like it's unlikely to be factorable, so let's solve this equation with the quadratic formula. So x equals the opposite of b over 2a plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And that's going to simplify to be negative 5 halves plus or minus the square root of 508 over 4. And we can simplify the square root of 508. So we're going to have negative 5 halves plus or minus 2 square root 127 over 4. And then we'll reduce the second fraction. So we have negative 5 halves plus or minus square root 127 over 2. Okay, so these are the x coordinates of our points. And then the y coordinates will be the opposite values. So if we have an x coordinate of negative 5 halves plus square root 127 over 2, then the y coordinate will be 5 halves minus square root 127 over 2. And if we have an x coordinate of negative 5 halves minus square root 127 over 2, the y coordinate will be 5 halves plus square root 127 over 2. So what would be very wise to do is to approximate these numbers, get the decimal values, and then compare those with the graph to see if they make sense.